we're going and do a quintessential staple of the Christmas, which is Ponche De Creme. But we know not everybody could partake how they would want to because of different health issues and these things. So today we're doing what the elders call pompella or pumpkin Ponche De Creme. My name is Andrew Jones, also known as Mr. Creamy. I am the owner and operator of Mr. Creamy's Ponche De Creme. Mr. Creamy's Ponche De Creme has been around since around 2014, and we do varying products of totally local flavors of Ponche De Creme, regular pumpkin, coconut, soursop, mocha, and cashew for our vegan and lactose intolerant friends. So we'll start. We have some beautiful pieces of pumpkin here. One of the things you always have to try to make sure when you're going to do the pumpkin Ponche De Creme is that you get the best quality pumpkin that you could possibly find, especially with regards to color. And if when you cut the pumpkin, it doesn't spring too much water itself. You know, sometimes when you cut piece of pumpkin, instantly it starts to release a set of liquid and whatnot. So you see this piece of pumpkin here, nice, vibrant yellow, right? Borderline going to orange. So years ago, I used to work in the Maracas St. Joseph area, and I was very close with our family there who actually, when going to visit around the Christmas time, moms and they used to come and say, well, hey, why is your liming? Come and beat egg, that we make the Ponche De Creme. So I started. But that's how I learned initially how to make Ponche De Creme. Years later, I received a visit from my in-laws. I know they were coming, Christmas time, never make Ponche De Creme before, and decided to try my hand and make the Ponche De Creme. Safe to say it was a hit. Alright, so I had some remain. We had a little lime in work. I took the Ponche De Creme. Wasn't this flavor actually, it was the regular Ponche De Creme. But when I took the Ponche De Creme to work, everybody enjoyed it. And I was asked, well, how much you're selling it for? Well, not being one to shy away from anything, I say, oh, you ain't ready to buy yet, man. When are you ready to put in an order now, man? And that is already give me really the opportunity to go and try to work out what the costing and all these types of things would be. Right? And that would have been, could be 6 or 7 years ago. Well, no, it could be longer, since 2014. Right, so this year would be the 8th year that we're going ahead doing the Ponche De Creme. My wife is actually lactose intolerant, and she ventures into the vegetarian side from time to time. So that is where we got the link into going to try the pumpkin. Right, because the pumpkin is done without eggs as the thickening agent. Right? So now we have the pumpkin, and we'll put this here now to go and start to boil. When we put it to boil, we would add star anise seed to the pumpkin while it's boiling, and also a little piece of cinnamon. We'll put this together and put it to boil. We have the pumpkin on the fire, right? So the pumpkin goes, that's for the pompella. But we're also making a batch of the original Ponche De Creme today as well too. As I said, I would have learned this while in my time working Maracas St. Joseph. They taught me it as the recipe of 6 condensed milk, 6 evaporated milk, 6 eggs to 1 bottle of rum. What I would have tweaked over the years would have been what type of rum I use and the amount of rum that I use for making the Ponche De Creme. So this one, we could cover him down for a second, right? Because we will be keeping this to the plain. And this one, we'll hold back 2 of the tins of the evaporated milk because This one, we decided to use this one for the pompeller. And we'll need liquid. We don't want to use water. Right, to blend the pumpkin, we use the evaporated milk to blend the pumpkin. When we start, we used to use by hand to beat these eggs. And Lord, I get strong. You can't beat the amount of eggs. Right, and then we develop and we move and we decide where the blender gives a very close, similar product. Right? So as I said, the recipe is the recipe of 6. So we have our 6 condensed, our 6 evaporated, and we'll go with 6 eggs now. And as I learned once from one of the elders, when in doubt, throw it out. Right? So that is the reason for the little sniff test. Your nose knows, he always used to say, your nose knows. So now before we put it to blend, now we'll come and we'll add our individual spices. So if I was making a full case, 12 bottles is a case, it would be 1 nutmeg. 1 whole nutmeg, 1 whole tonka bean, right? So you just do half of a nutmeg, right? And half of a tonka bean. Now, traditionally, the main flavoring for Ponche De Creme is really just the nutmeg. But because we use all these different spices, that's why we cut back so that nothing isn't overpowering anything. Right? And again, right, the name of this says it all spice. It's good for meat, it's good for cake, and in this case, it's good for Ponche De Creme. Right? We would not use any star anise seed. So that is where we show the differences in the flavorings. So this one is generally reserved for the pumpkin Ponche De Creme. You cannot grind or mix Ponche De Creme without lime zest. The lime zest is especially important to cut the freshness from the eggs. The nutmeg, the cinnamon, the tonka bean. It's these small nuances that we use that make the difference to the flavors. So you get a little check here now. So you see it had a nice little froth on top. Right, because a lot of air would have been incorporated. And now we'll add this to the milk from before. You see all that? Yeah, all the grain, all the jewel from in the blender. Everything, none shall escape. Aromatic bitters going in. Our mixed essence. Right, we're doing 1 teaspoon.
What type of essence is it?
Right. This essence is a mix we go to get the 100% extract. Right, it's a bit more pricey, but we believe in using quality ingredients. The essence is vanilla, pear, and almond. 1 teaspoon of our rum extract. Alright. We normally would use 50% white rum and 50% overproof rum. Alright. So a full bottle is 750 milliliters. So we'll go just under where they say, just under the 400. And then in the overproof rum, we go and do another and we'll bring it up. The rum generally is usually a 50-50 blend, except for 2 of our flavors where it's a slightly higher proof, which would be our mocha, and we'll be introducing a new flavor this year, actually for our vegan and lactose intolerant customers, right, which is cashew. That actually goes to 75% of the overproof and 25%, just to tone it back a little bit, but the higher, because it doesn't have the eggs, we just want to make sure that we have a safe product, so we have the higher alcohol content to make sure that it have a clean environment. Right? And here we come and we give him a good mix. So with this now, we let it set a little bit and let everything kusume. Right? There all the flavors marry and come together. Then after that, it's just to strain, bottle, and ready to drink. Moving on, we're coming back to the pumpkin Ponche De Creme. Right? So the pumpkin is now boiled. And we're going in with the stani seed that we boiled it with. Right? All that will add a little background flavor. If you decide to use this as a tutorial and do this at home, right, it is critically important that you remember to blend the pumpkin whilst as soon as it finishes boil. Right? The reason for that is you end up with a much smoother product. Once the pumpkin is allowed to cool, it becomes very granular. Right? It becomes kind of grainy and you feel it in the end product. So, as you go into blend, you'll add 1 piece of stani seed again, half our tonka bean, and half our nutmeg. Remember, the only substitute or true substitute here is the pumpkin instead of eggs. Hence the reason we're going back with the same flavorings that we'll have used for our plain is the same flavorings. So you'll always have that reminiscent flavor of Ponche De Creme. Right? And again, allspice. And even though we don't have to cut any fresh, we'll still use a little bit of lime zest, because the lime zest is a flavor that we know and is a flavor that is familiar in the Ponche De Creme. We add some of the evaporated milk. Okay. You see how nice and smooth it is? And you have that deep, nice yellow color from the pumpkin. Alright, now that we finished blend, we could add the remainder of the evaporated milk. Alright, our aromatic bitters, our mixed essence, and our rum flavoring. And now we mix. So the goal with this mix now is to incorporate the pumpkin with all the other milk. And we take a little break from that so that we could add the pump to the pumpella. Right? And there's 50% regular white rum and 50% overproof rum. And just like the plain, we allow this to sit for maybe about a half hour, just so all those flavors to marry. Now that we finish mix, the final phase, which is bottling. So we get one last mix, we strain, and this is not too fine a mesh strainer. That is just to catch all the larger particles. Because you had to be, when you pick up a bottle of Mr. Creamy's, you must be able to turn upside down and see all your little spice and everything sit on it. During the Christmas period, we also provide items and things such as sponge cake, black cake, sorrel, ginger beer, sweetbread as well, along with pastels. To reach us, you can reach me at 767-6688 via WhatsApp on the same number, or via social media, Facebook and Instagram at Mr. Creamy Ponche De Creme.